You think the video? Yeah. Same old voice. I guess it's the same old me over and over, even in maturity. I'm coming up to 50. Wow, this October, red October, I hit 50 red. Finished with 49. 49 is M13, and I had enough to shoot for this year. And I shot it all the way. I was a good guy, and I did the best I can do. And always trying to do better, so therefore I guess I didn't do the best I can do, but yes, once it's over, you have to try again. So this is what I'm going to do next. And there's so many things. That's why I come out here playing a game. Because if you really want to see the way I sometimes feel inside, I got so much to do. Well, then do it. And we can do it slowly. I can't remember everything, and I make it into a game every time somebody else comes on. Because there's no commercial break, so I got to repeat some of the times. I didn't know you stay in the can that long. Oh, I'm sorry, honey and cherry. Oh, my son's going to pick cherries this summer, and he's 21 out in Vancouver. Okay, this is what I want to go. I'm going to go through it quick and simple. I've done it before, but I'm only going to do piece number 1. In a scale, okay, of 45, okay, spaces, we are packaging everything up by 5s. In the first 5, we start them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 15. Second row, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, and 8 equals 21. 9 equals 30. J equals 40. Difference of 25. And difference of 25 all the way down. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. In the 5 section, there's 15. There's 15 always hidden somewhere because that's the value of 0. One day you'll learn to understand that 0 is a value. Otherwise, you couldn't pick it up and call it anything at all. 0 can't have a name. It's nothing. And nothing is nothing, and you can't have a name, and it doesn't exist, and just let's call it thin air in space. But 0 is more than thin air. It's a shape of something, and everything gets a number. I looked up in the elements, and inside all the elements there was number, and inside of me, I may not see the number, but if the numbers aren't right by the pharmacy after they inject me and try to check my blood or something, and the numbers aren't right. So it's all about numbers, right? And designs, His heart is sort of like on an angle. It's beating well, so I hear the sounds, and so now it's all about sound. And there's a drum in my ear, but I don't see the drummer. Must be the Rolling Stones, because that's all I want to see. I don't want to miss. So what's next? Let's go on to what's next. Is when you're finished adding these up, I take these numbers and then add them together. 1 and 5 is 6. 4 plus 0 is 4. 6 and 5 is 11. 1 and 1 is 2. 9 is 9. 1 and 5 is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one was 7. Or 1 from the center to this way, 1 from the center to this way. And this planet can all do the other planets. Don't tell me Pluto's not up our ass. He's not. It's Uranus. Close your mouth. You're blowing farts. I don't want to hear you, pet. But we always got to play the little bit of a game to make it more fun. Because if anybody's going to learn from Mr. Tactines, and it's not fun, then they'll look at this idiot teacher who can't teach. And now they'll say, look at this guy trying to act and teach at the same time. If this one's not fun, hopefully the other one is. So we're going to hit it by on 2 sides. Anyways, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you that we've continued it all the way down to here, which we have all 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last one, okay, which is 25, is 215. Let me turn it over. Yeah, it says 215, except I don't write good. 215, that's right, 512 megabyte. We're going to be calling in on Abraham Lincoln, because he's electronic. Otherwise, we're going to be calling on Abraham the Hebrew, our father. When they said Pharaoh, I think they were talking about Pharaohing the land. That's why Pharaoh had his golden cap on. Well, that was half an egg. He cut the egg in half. He shoved. He says, look, I am the king of the desert. I did what the African king could. I rose animals, we beast their head, and we prayed for them, but we forgot about our own wives and our own people. So I guess we're not as cock-shelled as we should be. Off goes the hat. Anyway, back to this. We're going to take 7 and add it to 9. And after you add 7 to 9, it becomes 16. 1 and 6 is 7. When you add 7 to 2, it becomes 9. 7 and 2 is 9. When you add 7 to 4, it's 11. 1 and 1 is 2. It is 2. And then when you add 7 to 6, it's 13M, lucky number 13. And over here, 1 and 3, 13, 7 and 6, Spirit of 76 is 13, 1 and 3 is for Barack Obama. Now we do it with 7 and 8. You see the way it went? 7924, 79246. See the way it went? 7924, and the last number used was 6. It's a rotation. So if you're going in to say pi doesn't repeat anywhere, it certainly does repeat in certain places. We just don't know how it does it, and they're spread so far apart, and they come down into singularity. 3 on each side is 7. They can get 9, 10, and 11, but 9, 10, and 11 is not a part in every single game. You get by 6 and 6, okay, equals 132, you get the creation of, from, the mother and the father, and then you don't see those again until I don't know when. I don't know how it works. There's a lot of numbers out there. I mean, there's so many ways to break up the number system. They did it on this. So, yeah, because the 7 has got the and, because it's never without. The other thing I was going to show you in this, okay, is that 8, excuse me, we're going to finish with this. Now we're going to go and measure it up. 7 first, 4 last, 11. 9 first, 2 last. This is exactly how it worked. The Christ came, the gates opened, we moved in on 11/11. But then into this world who he became, after the Queen took over of the Federation, it became, instead of 7 and 8 making 5, like it did over here, now 7 and 8 make 15 equals 6, because it becomes 9 of heaven of the one Spirit of Creator. 6 and 3 is 9, 8 and 1 is 9, you get 9, 9, 11, 11 from these exact numbers that end on 45. 215 that say 8. Another thing that's in here is if you take a look, where is it? Can I do it this way? 6, 4, 2, 9, 7, 5, 3, 1, 8. No number repeats. But now look at this. 6 and 8 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 1 and 4 is 14 or 5. 3 and 2 is 23 creation or 5. 5 and 9 is 14. 1 and 4 is 5. 7 goes into each one of them as 14. 7 goes into this 14, into this 14, into this 14, into this 14. He goes in 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 times 7 becomes 56. 5 and 6 is 11, or 5 by 6 is 30. 30 and 11 is 41. Go in Monopoly. So sometimes I lose my head. And so what I really wanted to show you out of this is because they all become 6 and 8 as 5, 4 and 1 is 5, 3 and 2 is 5, 5 and 9 is 5. What happens is it becomes 5, 5, 5. 5 times 5 would be 20, 20, 7 on this side, 27, 7 on this side, 27. You put the two 27s together, it's 54, and that's what you get out of the face of Rubik's Cube, 54. What other number that makes up is because on one side we get 7, 5, 5, 5, 5, we have 40. 7 is an automatic between 1 and 6. That's the way 7 is created. Okay? That's why in the Spirit of 76, if you put a 0 as 70, it's because it's inside the egg. The 7 card, if you take a look at the 7 card, there's no center heart. It's higher up because it's now inner worlds. So it plays as a center moon. As the 8 card, it plays as 2 moons, just the way 8 would represent Neptune and 8 would represent Mars at the same time. It just does. Remember, a square has 4 corners. If you show me a triangle, it has 3 corners. And not only that, if you show me a triangle, okay, it's only going to bend in towards the center, this triangle. I have to flip a triangle and make it higher to make it a perfect triangle on all sides, just like I wanted a perfect square. That's why you flip it all around. The other thing I was going to tell you with this is that when you multiply the 4 5s that you picked up, 20 and 20 is 40, plus 1 is 41. Now, the 5s alone, as their combinations from the bottom, would say 8 and 6 is 5, 1 and 4 is 5, 3 and 2 is 5, 9 and 5 is 5. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625 times 20 and 21. Or together it's 41. 41. And 2021 is also known as TNU saying 2. It's part of our Galactica schedule. Okay? I'm quite sure it doesn't end on that way. Just where the moon picks up 14-day cycles and 7-day cycles as 3-day cycles and 1-day cycle and 3-day cycles. The cycle of the moon is not what you think it is. Otherwise, we'll see the same kind of moon all the time, but we don't. But the moon moves a little bit away saying, this month I feel like being a little bit further. I don't know, and I get my own choice. I get to move the oceans. Wait a second, moon. You don't get to completely move the oceans without the hand of the Federation. In fact, you don't go anywhere, moon. Don't you see all those satellites watching you, moon? Oh, we know you belong to everybody. Just in case, we have to make you impartial, moon. So now you see, we used if you want to go from these numbers, or why even use these numbers? Why not use these 6? The 4 train tracks in Monopoly times the Monopoly game. The Monopoly game is 40, okay? But you start from 1 go, so it's 41. You have to go 40 times around and 1. 40 is go. Who went all the way around first? The creator. You had to test the tracks on. 41 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 equals 25,625. Another way to get the same answer, but with different numbers, is 11 times 11 times 11 is 13. 31, 11 times 11 is 1121, which is 81 seconds, which is 9 by 9. 11 by 11 is a minute and 21 seconds, which is just like 9 by 9. So, but we have this 41 times 5. Well, let's just do it this way. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625 times 41 for Monopoly or DNA, whichever way you want to look at the AC/DC 2013 year, running into the 2014, ending in 5775, the Hebrew year. So we get 25,625. I repeated it twice, only to go back to 11 now. When we multiply one more time, by the 4th time of 11, 11, 11, 11, we get 14,641, if I remember. 14,641. Now, how is that the same? Because now, in the eyes of an on-seer, the 1/4 is 1/4 of 6 of 1/4. So it's representing the same period of time a different way to a different dialect or group, is the way I have to see it. They can't just say, let's just make it different. No, somewhere above the scale where different dialects work, because why different dialects? Well, imagine you heard the drum roll. And a guy in Canada hears the drum roll. You both heard the drum roll. But yours isn't a sound that echoes in your area, and this is a sound that echoes in his area, and it's almost the same drum roll, but it's 2 different sounds. So now you speak 2 different languages. Ole. Work for you and me. Ole. So you see this, what I did with this. At the same time, not only that, the first one, ABCD, shows me the egg all right away. It also shows me ace. It also shows me the C. The only 2 that don't believe in here, okay, is B and D. Are the only 2 you can move. 15. You move the B and D, you're moving 6. You end up with 5, which is a position, because that's all we're counting. The E is the 5th position on a card. The center dot with the 4 dots on the outside. The E and the D are almost the same. Just take away the dot. They're the same card. The last one is we had down as 8, but it says Abe. Here we have 19, which would also break up to 95, which would be 285. 285 equals 170, which means the Reish spirit, angel resident spirit, the birth of the one spirit coming in. It shows between numbers 36, which is creation, and 40, which is the game of Go. It's an expression of a child that is going to be born, living under the roof of 19, because his spirit may enter into the world, but he's not alive at all, and he can never be alive, because we as human beings take up the vibration upon ourselves to do the things we feel like we think we're doing, and we're most likely partly doing, but actually not, because we ain't here other than what we think we are, where we are, and we're so used to thinking that we're here, our minds can't have difficulty returning, and they just turn into overnight dreams. And I remember most of mine. lately. By smoking a little bit less weed, which has been like almost 2 months now. I'm doing good this year. I like that because I finally learned that too much is too much. Another thing I wanted to say is this area here that I'm going to show you. 6 plus 8 is 14, 4 plus 1 is 5. These are all 5s, okay? This is exactly what I was showing you on the other page. And not only that, when you play the game craps, the odds in the game of craps of rolling of the dice, okay, the 6 and the 8 are 14, and they're the opposites of each other on the dice. The 5 and the 9 are the opposites of each other. And also, they have the same payout. Go to the games of gambling, they give the answers. You've got to throw yourself all around and collect the information. Even the basis of, over here, 2 on 5, this is the last row, the 9th row. The 9th row would be the birth row. It totals 86, the front and the last, although the total is 215. It says ABE or 512 megabytes, or whichever way you want to do it. This one tells you on the cross. This one talks about communication. This one talks about your birth. Again, communication between these letters, different levels, and they just keep repeating. Just a different number goes higher. 3 numbers, 4 numbers, 5 numbers, and then all of a sudden, 2 numbers, and then pi don't look like pi anymore, and you can't figure out how come it seems like it goes on forever, but no one has picked up the proper vibration to see that pi keeps repeating itself over and over and over again as it raises into one level into the next. And however, whichever, I wish I can explain it, but right now my visions are no more of a thought of anything than a thought than what I've said to you in the last few minutes. And secondly, this is a non-commercial hour for those who stuck around for the show, because the show must go on. What did we finish there? So we showed the Nibiru count, which again, I have done it on this paper already, but there's more to it. There's more to it. There's so much more. What do you do with, I mean, here's one little piece here. I did this already, so I'm not going over. 0 times 1.5 equals 0. So if 0 equals 15, this answer equals 15 or 1.5. Then 1 times 1.5 equals 1.5. Same thing. Oh my God, both 0 and 1 are the same thing. I guess we better go 1, 0, 1, right? Don't you remember? When you play cards and you want to count cards, if you start at 0, you're screwed. You go up and you go 1 down, you're back in the same place you started. You don't have a number. You don't have an area. Point 0, you're always at point 0. So that's why you start with a plus count. If you get to a minus count, you're happy as shit. Same thing in backrow, why they count everything for tens or zeros. So I showed you this. And there's a lot more. One thing that I did miss is I was going to show you in the 18th area, if I'm correct, this is somewhere near 17 or 18, I'm at 415, 514, which is the DNA count. It also comes down into this area right here. Hold on a second. Right here. Can you read it? 440, BBO it says. 440. It also says birth, 86 to 90, our birth into this world. The next row automatically 30-45. 75 from the last page comes into next year, the birth egg. I can't explain the whole thing, it's all gibbery all over the place, but if you have something you want to figure out, I want to figure it out too. But you know what? How can I explain it? You figure out one thing, and then you got to wait. And then you figure it out, and 6 months from now you start putting it, oh yeah, I remember that, sure. And you start putting the pieces together. I mean, I put some stuff up on my wall, and like today I'm saying, what do I do? Oh yeah, I remember that. No, and I wrote that, and yeah, that was good. That was good, sure. Anyways, Raphael, 7286, in the constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for taking up 20 minutes of your uninterrupted time. See you then. Be very well, be honest and true. And one day we'll be all